What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. In this video, I'm going to do another ceramic tile penetration test, and I'm going to be testing the 416 Ruger Dangerous Game cartridge. And the goal of the test is to see how many ceramic tiles the 416 Ruger can penetrate through with solids and expanding bullets. So the tiles that I'm going to be using for the test are just some standard 1 foot by 1 foot flooring tiles that are a 1/4 inch thick, and they're made by a company called Traffic Master, and I picked them up at my local Home Depot. And the rifle I'm going to be using for this test is my Ruger guide gun. It has a 20-inch barrel. And the ammunition that I'm going to be using for this test are some Hornady 400 grain Dangerous Game solids. This is a factory load from Hornady. It was the first 416 Ruger load developed by Hornady. And it has an advertised muzzle velocity of 2,400 feet per second for a muzzle energy of 5,100 foot-pounds. And I have actually chronograph tested these loads out of my 20-inch barrel Ruger guide gun, and I can confirm that the 2,400 foot per second muzzle velocity is accurate out of the 20-inch barrel Ruger guide gun. There are some people that say that you can't achieve the 2,400 feet per second out of the 20-inch barrel Ruger guide gun, and I proved that to be false in my chronograph test, which had an average of 2,398 feet per second with these loads. And for the expanding bullets, we're going to use some Buffalo Bore TSX loads, and Buffalo Bore uses a 400 grain triple shock X bullet, and they push it to around 2,425 feet per second. And I did confirm this number through chronograph testing out of my Ruger guide gun with the 20-inch barrel. And for those of you guys who are not familiar with the 416 Ruger, it was developed in 2010 by Hornady and Ruger. Ruger was looking for a Dangerous Game cartridge that could be chambered in a standard length action, and Hornady developed the 416 Ruger, basically duplicating the ballistics of a 416 Rigby and 416 Remington Magnum, but in a standard length cartridge. So the 416 Ruger has an overall length that's the same as a 300 Win Mag, a 30-06, a 270, and a 7mm Rem Mag. It is not a Magnum length cartridge. It's a standard length cartridge, and it is a powerhouse. I have done extensive testing with this cartridge. I've shot this cartridge at Douglas for 2x10s, oak firewood, and ice blocks, and the penetration is just massive with this cartridge. So it's going to be interesting to see how it performs against ceramic tiles. And some other ceramic tile tests that I've done in the past, I've tested the 44 Magnum, which penetrated through 7 tiles. The 500 Smith & Wesson Magnum with 440 grain hard cast bear loads from Buffalo Bore penetrated through 10 tiles. And I also tested 300 Win Mag with 180 grain copper solids, and those penetrated through 10 ceramic tiles. So it's going to be interesting to see how many tiles the 416 Ruger elephant gun cartridge can penetrate through. So I hope you guys enjoy the video, and thanks for watching. Alright guys, 416 Ruger, 400 grain, Dangerous Game solid. Let's see what happens here. Alright guys, so it looks like the 416 Ruger with the 400 grain Dangerous Game solids, steel jacketed bullet, traveling at 2,400 feet per second from the muzzle, penetrated through 15 of these ceramic tiles. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Pretty interesting results. I was expecting it to penetrate through more. That's only 5 more tiles than the 300 Win Mag with the 180 grain cutting edge solids and the 500 Magnum with the 440 grain hard cast barrel loads. So these tiles are pretty tough. Definitely a good option for ballistic protection. It only took 15 tiles to stop this steel bullet 416 Ruger elephant gun cartridge. So pretty interesting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit these tiles now with the 400 grain TSX Triple Shock X, and that has a muzzle velocity of 2,425 feet per second and a muzzle energy of around 5,100 foot-pounds. So let's see how many tiles the 400 grain TSX from Buffalo Bore can penetrate through. Alright guys, Buffalo Bore 400 grain Triple Shock X. I chronographed this load out of my 20-inch barrel Ruger guide gun to be traveling from the muzzle 2,425 feet per second with a muzzle energy of 5,100 foot-pounds. Let's see what happens to these ceramic tiles. All right, guys, Buffalo Bore 400 grain Triple Shock X, traveling at 2,425 feet per second from the muzzle. Also penetrated through 15 of these tiles. And again, these are 1/4 inch thick tiles. I'll just count them for you. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Looks like it kind of just cracked the 15th one. I'm going to see if I could find these bullets. But pretty interesting that the TSX and the DGS had the same amount of penetration in the tiles. I figured the DGS would penetrate more because it's a solid and it's steel. But I guess with tiles it doesn't really matter as much because the tiles just break apart and slow the bullet down. So pretty interesting results, guys, for the 416 Ruger 400 grain dangerous game solid and the Buffalo Bore 400 grain Triple Shock X. It's about 5 more tiles than the 500 Smith & Wesson Magnum with 440 grain hard cast barrel loads from Buffalo Bore, and the 300 Win Mag also penetrated 10 tiles with the Choice Ammunition 180 grain cutting edge solid. So I figured it would penetrate maybe 20 tiles, but it's pretty interesting, guys. So look at all this mess that I got to clean up though. And I was actually able to find the bullets, guys. I want to show you the bullets here. So on the left, we have the Dangerous Game Solid, the DGS. And look at how the ceramic tiles just completely flattened out this steel solid. And that small lead core looks like it shot out the back. But I'm just really impressed at how well the ceramic tiles stop these elephant gun rounds. And here we have the 400 grain TSX. Look at how it just flattened it out. So I'm actually going to clean these up and we're going to measure the expansion and check the weight retention. This is pretty interesting. So stay tuned. All right, guys, so I cleaned up the bullets. Here's the 400 grain TSX. And you can see it just got completely flattened out. Look at that. It's pretty crazy. Let's just measure it and see what kind of expansion occurred. 0.920 inches. Pretty interesting. Almost an inch of expansion here. 0.95. It's pretty crazy, guys. Look at how that's just completely flattened out. It's insane. And then here's that DGS, Dangerous Game Solid, which is a steel bullet with a small lead core. You can see the lead core basically shot out the back, and it's just the steel that's left over. And you can see that steel round nose just completely flattened out. It didn't flatten out as much as the TSX, but you can see it's still flattened out from the ceramic. Ceramic is a very hard material. In case you guys don't know, they use ceramic to sharpen knives. I have ceramic knife sharpeners, so it's hard enough where it can actually flatten out steel. And looking at this, you would think this was made of lead, but it's not. This is solid steel. Okay, it's solid steel. 0.799 inches. 0.8, basically 0.8 inches. So I want to just weigh these guys and see how much weight they retain. So 395.5 grains for the 400 grain TSX. So that's about 99% weight retention. And now let's try the DGS. 243.9 grains, so it lost a lot of weight, and that's because that lead core just shot out the back here, shot out the base, and that's one of the complaints that people have had with these DGS bullets, is that sometimes that lead core can pop out the back. But this is the deepest penetrating 416 Ruger bullet that I've tested, so I figured I would test it. And it's made of steel, so I figured it would be very hard and it would be able to penetrate a lot. But that ceramic tile just really did a great job at stopping these bullets. So about 61% weight retention with the DGS. So pretty interesting results, guys. I thought that the 416 Ruger would be able to penetrate through at least 20 ceramic tiles, maybe even more, especially with the DGS, the steel solid here. But it looks like those ceramic tiles are just extremely tough. And that's only 5 more tiles than the 300 Win Mag with 180 grain copper solids, and only 5 more tiles than the 500 Magnum with 440 grain hard cast barrel loads from Buffalo Bore. So pretty interesting results. You probably could use ceramic tiles for ballistic protection. If you, let's say, had access to a Home Depot after society collapsed, you could maybe stack up a bunch of ceramic tiles around your house, and they would do a really good job at stopping bullets. But that's pretty much it for this test. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere.